Sean Diddy Combs trial. It is now coming to an end. Closing arguments. This gives an opportunity for both sides to wrap up their case, give a summation, and as we say, close the dots. Connect the dots. It's a connected dots situation. And hold on, let's see. It gives them opportunity to connect the dots and wrap up their case. Uh, the prosecutors they're gonna do what you call connect the dots and go from there. This is a real big day for Diddy. A case can be won during closing arguments, so they're gonna have to really do what they got to do. Top of the morning. Give me a second. So they're really gonna have to nail this home. And we know that the defense, they didn't put on a case, so their closing arguments have to be stellar. I don't think he can rely on a pardon at this point. That should be the last resort. And he has to be thinking, I have to win this case in the closing. I have to. We have to create doubt because the government has the burden of proof. He doesn't. So that's what he has to be thinking. That's what he has to be thinking, folks. Everything else is secondary. He has to create doubt. Yeah, he has to create doubt. Sorry, I had to do that for the trolls. But yeah, he has to create doubt because they only get one shot at it. From what I understand, the prosecutors, they're only going one. They're not doing a rebuttal. So if they're not doing a rebuttal, that's kind of good for the defense because usually the government goes twice in this situation. But if they're not doing a rebuttal, then that's kind of even to me. But this closing argument, just to let you know, each side, their closing argument shouldn't last all day. They're making a mistake because I don't need all day for you to do a closing argument. I only need a couple hours. That's it, and move on. But they're making a mistake. This thing don't last 7 weeks. The thing lasts 7 weeks. Okay, number one. Now the closing argument's got to be a whole day. They got to sit there. They're going to lose a jury. Somebody's going to fall asleep. I promise you that. Somebody's going to fall asleep, and that's going to be an indication for a hung jury. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong because they probably, at this juncture, you should almost have your mind made up. At this juncture, you should almost have your mind made up on what's going on. So, yeah, I would literally have my mind close to being made up. And I don't, like I said, I don't need a closing arguments to go. I don't need a closing argument to go past 2 hours. It's just too much because the case lasted for almost 7 weeks. It's too much, and it's going to be going into 8 weeks. If they can't deliberate in a day, that's too much. It's like a mistake. But what do I know? But we'll see. as it stands right now, he still has a mountain to climb, and that's why the closing statements is very key. Remember, you got to create that doubt. If there's doubt, you can't convict, not on doubt. But depending on who you talk to with this case, some people say no, the everything has been proven already, beyond reasonable doubt, depending on who you talk to, which is understandable. I kind of feel like some people are biased, but hey, man, that's what he has to deal with in this type of situation. It's gonna be biased. Now, depending on, like I said, the jury, I mean the defense gonna really have to hammer home reasonable doubt, since they're gonna be taking most of the day. Because here's the thing: if the prosecutors, if they take the whole day with closing statements, guys, that's a mistake. Number one, but number two, that means the defense will go tomorrow. Shouldn't they take the whole day as well? And then you mean to tell me they're gonna get this case by Monday? That's too much, man. It's too much. But I honestly think like this case was set up to go to the for him to take a deal. But being that he wanted to fight this case, it was a lot of scrambling and scraping. I don't know if the initial game plan was to take this all the way, but I still think they did a really good job anyway, handling this case. I mean, despite all of the obstacles they had to face, because they had to face a lot of obstacles. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I'm checking this elevator because yesterday it got stuck. So I need to just walk down the stairs. That's what I need to do. Let me see which one opens up. Hold on, because if that right one open up, no thank you. I don't mind going down the stairs. Oh, hell nah. Hold up. That's the one that's opening up, too. Nah, I'm straight, though. I'm walking down the stairs. I'm straight, yo. I need to exercise anyway. Yeah, there ain't no way. Ain't no way I'm getting on that elevator, man. It dropped yesterday. We heard it, too. I remember one time, the condo my mother had, it had a fire in it, and she lived on the top floor. Hey, how you doing? Good. Yeah, she lived on the top floor, and they had a fire. And man, she lived on the 15th floor, and it was easy to walk down. This woman took, I said, Mom, if you don't pick it up, man, we gonna get burnt up in here if you don't pick it up. And you know what she said to me? The Lord has my back. Go ahead. And I couldn't go. What, I'm gonna leave my mother there? I said, well, he might got my back too. Did you pray for me too? She said, I sure did. It was smoking. We made it down. It took us, it seemed like 20 minutes, but it didn't. It only took like, when I looked at my watch again, it took like 8 minutes, but it seemed like eternity. She was walking pretty fast, but anyway, getting back to this. Is it gonna rain today? It feel really nice out here. It feel really good out here right now, and I'm appreciating this. I mean, I know it's 8 something in the morning, but yesterday it wasn't like this. It's a nice breeze. It's a nice day for closing statements today, folks. And guys, the defense, they have to deliver the closing statement of their life. They can't sit there and rely on a pardon. But I'm telling people, if he already got the pardon, he already knows now. He already know he got the pardon, because I heard his family is planning a party for the 4th of July. For him, for the 4th, they're planning a party. So I'm thinking maybe they're doing that just to, what do you call it? Just to be, have a positive frame of mind. But they're planning his party on the 4th of July, a 4th of July party, according to Media Takeout. I mean, you do have to have a positive mindset, but you also have to be realistic. Like, I tell you all day long that I would vote not guilty, right? But I'm not on that jury. I'm not on the jury, so I'm being realistic here. I don't know. It's real. Look, I found this out yesterday. I knew it, but I should have said something. But I'm not a lawyer or anything. I can't really. I just go off research, right? And what my boy tell me, because he's an attorney. He said if one person agree on the one predicate act, then you have some other, the rest of them agree on another predicate act. He said they can move on. They don't all have to agree on the same predicate act. Did y'all know that? Oh my God. I thought they all unanimously had to agree on one predicate act. He said no. They just collectively have to come up with two. That's how dangerous this is. And then also he said that did he do the kidnapping or not? Yes or no? That's all they have to do, yo. That's why they made it. And actually, when I started listening to the legal analyst, they actually made it easier to convict him. They did drop some, but however, did he do it? Yes or no? That's all they have to say, man. For all of them, just yes or no, and they just have to come up with two. That's it. And a lot of people can agree that the bribery is very strong. It's very strong. Now the kidnapping part, that wasn't as strong. Okay, they might have a little bit of difficulty because they would have to literally go back into the evidence and listen to her whole testimony, Capricorn Clark, and they're gonna have to figure out that's all on Capricorn Clark, I think, the kidnapping, because she mentioned that they took her to the scene, so that might be shaky because the arson part is kind of shaky. So I can see them why they dropped that one, but the rest of them, the rest of the predicate acts, I don't know. Let me just say this for the record. I didn't say they dropped the charges. I said the predicate acts. They still have 5 charges. The racketeering, the trafficking on Cassie, the trafficking on Jane Doe, the Mann Act on Cassie, and the Mann Act on Jane Doe. That's 5. They never dropped the charges, the main charges. They just those predicate acts. But it made it easy though, because like, all right, did he bribe or not? Yes or no? Okay, you saying no? Okay, let's turn to this evidence right here. Now, if one holdout, let's say, let me just give you this. If there's a holdout, right, the jury is going to be like, well, what about these transactions here? What about this? What about the 100,000? And then the person still vote no. That means he's practicing jury nullification, and he's holding out, he or she. And guess what? It's legal to do that. It's legal, but they can't tell them that in the jury instructions. When the judge read the jury instructions, they can't say that. Now that the lawyers can imply, you know what I'm saying? Please vote not guilty. They can imply it. See, when the lawyers say, I need you to vote not guilty, it's legal. You can just vote not guilty just for the hell of it. You can. It's called jury nullification. But they can't say it. They can't say jury nullification. They can't say it. They cannot say it. They can imply, they can like kind of hint at it and hope that the jury is educated enough to know what jury nullification is. I don't always agree with it. I didn't agree with it in this. I believe they practice it in the Zimmerman case because he was dead to rights. He was caught because the cops told him not to follow Trayvon, and he continued to follow them. And it was, and we heard the recordings when they said don't continue to follow him, and he continued to pursue him like he a police officer, and he wasn't. And that's why he was guilty, because he pursued him and he caused. Because if I'm at night and somebody following me, because it happened to me before. It happened to me before. This lady and her, I guess her, I don't, it wasn't her husband. They were two rednecks. It wasn't their husband. Me and look, we wind up being cool afterwards. I know this is crazy, right? We wind up being cool. It was like midnight or whatever. I was working well, I wasn't working a graveyard shift. I worked the weird hours where I got off around that time. And they asked me like, "What are you doing around here?" And I didn't answer them. I just kept walking. And they followed me all the way to my apartment. And he was like, "Hold on." I don't know if he had a weapon or not. I had one on me, and I had it visible. So I guess he finally saw it because I had a shoulder harness. He finally saw it. He said, "You a police officer?" I was like, "Man, I don't have to answer nothing." So that could have turned crazy. Now the next day, they said, "Well, I'm sorry, we were just, we were out here watching." I said, "You out here walking at midnight watching? And your tags are dirty?" He was like, "What?" I said, "Your tag's dirty on your truck." I said, "This was in 2000. I remember this was during COVID." I said, "Man, your tag say 2018, man. Your shit is dirty." I said, "Your joint is dirty." I said, how about we just, instead of asking questions, how about we just call the police right now? And then I report your car, then you report me. Needless to say, we started talking, just to be honest. We started talking. And then I figured I need somebody like that just in case I go out of town, they can watch my joint, which they did. But they had a neighborhood watch over there unofficially. Unofficially. I don't know if he had nothing on him. He followed me that night. It could have been crazy. But I just kept walking. He walked all the way to my spot too. So he shouldn't have followed him. And that's why they ended up tussling and he shot him. Because Trayvon was getting the best of him. And then he shot him, so it was his fault. So he should have been convicted. So that's the only time I didn't agree with it. In this case, I will agree with it. But it ain't up to me. Remember, it's up to the jury. So that's why I say he has every reason to be very nervous now, more so than he was before. It's very intense. It's going to be very intense today for both sides. The prosecutors are really good in this case, man. They're really, really, really good. But they please do not have nobody fall asleep. They need to have illustrations and everything. I'm not going to know if they have illustrations because I'm not going to be there. But it'll work to the defense advantage if they have like something that the jury can follow along with. Statements, inconsistencies in statements. They're going to have to find every inconsistent statement in Cassie. So they might have to spend the whole day. They're going to have to go through every inconsistent statement from her and Jane Doe. Jane Doe, for me, is not a problem. I think they will find those charges not guilty. But however, check this out. My boy told me last night, he said, nah, bro. He said, you might think that they're going to find him not guilty on Jane Doe, but that could be the strongest one. He said, with lawyers, the jury is unpredictable. When you think something is weak and you don't stress it, that's where the jury might think it's strong at. So he said they got to cover all bases. He told me they might have to spend the whole day. He said if the prosecutors spend the whole day closing, he said this thing, they're not going to get this case until Monday. He said they better get the case Monday. They better not get the case Friday. He said because if the prosecutors spend the whole day plus a little bit Monday, that means that the defense have to spend all day Monday and a little bit Tuesday before they get this case. He said they have to spend an equal amount of time as the prosecutors. He said because everybody might think Jane Doe testimony is weak, but the jury might not think so. He said he had a case one time where they just knew they were going to get a not guilty, knew it, because they knew it, but the jury, the little nuances that they thought the jury was going to overlook, they didn't overlook it. He said, so you have to spend all the inconsistent statements of Jane Doe. It might seem redundant, right, going through it, but you have to let the jury know that they only had one shot at it. Now, the government, I guess they elected not to have a rebuttal because they want to have this done before the 4th of July. But if the jury is really, really not made up, if their minds are not made up yet, and they want to go through this whole case bit by bit, they're going to go past the 4th of July. But if they have their minds made up, it'll be done before the 4th of July. They'll be done before the 4th of July. But, you know, I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, if the prosecutors go all day and the defense only take 20 minutes, no, that's not good. Because now you're basing on that you got a holdout. You don't want to do that. You want to go through every inconsistent statement. This is what was told to me. You want to go through everything. And then he said you want to spend at least a couple of hours on reasonable doubt or keep hitting at it, and remixing it or something. And then after that, it's done. And then the jury should get it by Tuesday. Because the thing is, if they spend all day Friday and all day today and a little bit Friday, then the defense is up next. They should spend the whole day Friday. So I'm not expecting the jury to get this until Monday. Because if you go back for a second, this wasn't a criminal case, but it was a case involving YouTuber Tasha K. If you remember that case, because I followed it, Cardi B's attorneys took the whole time allotted to them. They had a time limit on that case. They took the entire time that was allotted to them. Tasha K lawyer didn't even spend not even that much time. That was a mistake. I knew she was going to lose that case. I knew it. I knew she was going to lose. She just lucky that Cardi B showed her favor and not collected that money. She lucky. Because Cardi, even to this day, if she wanted to, she can go try to collect that money again. And they'll start garnishing accounts and everything else, but she showed her favor. And she not doing it, but it was just the principle of it that, you know, she put her business out there. That's why she sued her. But they got to take more than an hour. They if the like I said again, if the prosecutors spend all day, they have to spend all day. And they literally, and here's the thing, this is the challenging part. They have to spend all day, but they can't make the jury fall asleep. You know, they can't have the jury fall asleep, so they're gonna have to take multiple breaks. Like, judge, it's a good time to take a break. Judge, it's a good time to take a lunch. They can't do this for 3 hours straight. They gotta take breaks in between so that the jury won't fall asleep. Because they fall asleep, they're gonna miss some details. This is on both sides. The stakes are high for both sides. The chess has been played now. Okay, they already, if you're thinking about this on a chess game, their opening moves is already done. They're in the middle game now. They're well into the middle game. And depending on how you set up in the opening, in the middle game, your closing should be very strong for a checkmate. Good morning. It should be very strong for a checkmate. And if one false move, you know you're in checkmate. Do not fall for the okie doke and say, nah, we don't need to spend that much time on the closing. He said you have to hammer home reasonable doubt and poke the inconsistencies in these statements. That's it. That's their job now. They cannot be relying on I'm not saying they're relying on a pardon. I'm not saying that. Because I don't know. Because it's tight-lipped. Nobody is talking about a pardon. Even in the Trump camp, nobody's talking about it. So we don't know. But if he do have a case for a strong pardon, he should know already. But they're just not going to tell us. But if 50 has something to do with it, he's not getting a pardon. Because he was at the inauguration. You know what I'm saying? He was at the inauguration where it wasn't popular. He was there. Okay? Front and center. He was at the inauguration. He was at the first one too, when it wasn't popular to be at the first one. So he may take that in consideration, like, you know what? He may have gotten his ear already. So that's why they need a strong closing. They're not going just for, we need a jury holdout. They need to go for everything. They need to go for a full acquittal. That's what they need to go for. And if they do get a hung jury, then so be it. But if it's going to be a hung jury, is it going to be a hung jury on everything? Or if it's a hung jury on everything, just know that they had a holdout. That's what that meant. They had somebody that had a holdout. But even with a hung jury, a full hung jury on all charges, he still ain't getting out of jail. He can petition to get out of jail, but the judge denied every request. So that means he got to spend another year in lockup and do it again. They need a full acquittal. That's what they need. And the only way to get that full acquittal, they have to go through every inconsistent statement and hammer home that he was in a relationship with them. This was a kinky relationship. They got to hammer that home. I'm already convinced it was a kinky relationship and it wasn't trafficking. However, I'm not the jury. That jury might be like, you know what? They better hope this is not the case. We're going to teach this MFer a lesson. If that's the case, guys, we'll have a verdict by Monday. If that's the case, we'll have one by Monday. If they be like, we're going to teach this MFer a lesson, okay? And they got to be careful with that. You know why? Because he's of privilege. The jury is not of privilege. They're not of privilege at all. They have to work every day and all that. He wasn't working. He was just doing freak offs and doing what he wanted to do, right? He already made his money. He really didn't have to work. And they don't like that. Weinstein, if you look at Weinstein, he got a hung jury on most of the charges, but he still got convicted on that one charge that'll add an additional 10 years to his sentence already that he's serving. He wanted a full acquittal, and then he wanted to try to work the system on that other case to try to get out on that. But it's looking like he ain't never getting out. Never. Never. So they got to look at that. Like, the jury might be smiling and nodding their head at you, but you don't know what's in their mind. They be like, yeah, I'm nodding my head, motherfucker, because I'm going to teach you a lesson. Okay? Jury is very unpredictable, man. And it's okay for them to be unpredictable. And I like the fact that they have that power, because these rich people are starting to understand that. Think about this. He had a lot of power for decades. Now he got to rely on people that, and they're holding his life in their hands. His life is in their hands. Think about that. If that ain't gonna humble you, nothing will. Thank you, Max, for the donation. I appreciate you, baby. Um, so that's what I wanted to say right there. We don't know what they thinking, because you could be like, yeah, they nodding their head and stuff. Like, yeah, I'm gonna teach your privileged self a lesson that you ain't gonna never forget. Okay? They're not supposed to be doing that though. But these people are human. You know what I'm saying? They sat up there, and watching those videos is not good. Watching those videos is not good, because they probably got daughters, man. Some of them people on that jury might have granddaughters, right? I'm being real. I have to cover every base, and I'm being real with you. He got to be nervous right now. I mean, really nervous, because they got granddaughters. They got daughters. Some of them got daughters. Okay? Some of them got wives. They wouldn't want their daughters being subjected to that. They don't. And they had to sit there and watch. That was a mistake, yo. It wasn't a mistake on the prosecution, but it was a mistake on the defense to keep playing those videos. But the government, they played them videos again because they wanted to let them people see it again. They want to let them people see what she had to go through, man. They wanted them to see that. I heard he was uncomfortable when they were playing it the last time. Because you know why? Because they were poker face. And they're over it now. This was a huge gamble to take it to the door. He's going. It was a huge gamble to take this thing to the door. So, because they pretty much watch porn, man. That's what they watch. These people are human at the end of the day. So they're gonna have to spend the entire day saying, listen, you gotta take your emotions out of this. You gotta be fair and impartial. But guess what? When they're selected in the jury, they don't want people to be fair and impartial. That's what was told to me. They don't. That just sound good. They don't want that. They want people on their side. That's why the jury is so diverse. They hoping one of them brothers on the jury might show him favor. But look, I have to say this real quick. Are them brothers on the jury, how did Tariq say it? Are they foundational or not? Are they foundational? Are they foundational, man? Because they might not relate to him. There was one of them said they don't even listen to his music. They also said it was one of the jurors that was visibly upset watching it. But the last time they were watching it, everybody had a poker face. When it comes to that, like, he had a lot of privilege, right? He had so much privilege that he got somebody to do that for a decade. For over a decade, had her doing that. You know what they might say? You going to jail for something. I don't give a damn. You going to go to jail for something. We might not get you on everything, but you going to have to sit. You ain't joining the 4th of July with your privileged self. That's what they might be thinking. You're not enjoying the 4th of July, man. So you can go out and have another freak off. You're not doing that. Okay? That's what they're probably going to say. Like, you're not doing that. So guys, he has every right to be gravely concerned. These next 2 days is going to age him. You think he's already aged? It's going to age him. This is what I do predict. No, I ain't going to predict it because I've already, well, I already know what I would do. But, yeah, he got to be gravely concerned, man. They sat there and watched all those videos over and over again. They watch all the minutes. No telling what he was saying on those videos to her. Okay? This is a lesson for everybody. Please have some respect out here for people, please. Because they might say you're a billionaire. We you know, somebody on that jury barely got $50 in their pocket, man. Barely. They probably got their mind made up already. I'm gonna tell you this: if they have a full verdict by Monday, he's in trouble. It's gonna be guilty on everything. If they have a full verdict by Monday, he's guilty on everything. If they have a full verdict by Tuesday, he's guilty on everything. If they have a full verdict by after the 4th of July, then he might not be guilty on everything. And they might be hung up on some things. But the longer it takes, it benefits him. That's my prediction. The longer it takes. If this takes over a week or whatever, they hung up on everything. They got to hold out. They got to hold. But if they come up with a quick verdict, this ain't going to end like OJ. OJ, remember, it was a quick verdict. And he was not guilty on everything. But this is it's very risky to show all those videos in detail. That's something else. Because they weren't having regular sex. They weren't having regular sex. That was adult graphic sex. That's what they were having. And they're gonna be like, she endured that for over a decade. That's how risky this is. I know they're preparing. I know they're preparing for a 4th of July party. But they're gonna have to also prepare for the worst. Because everything, that whole situation involving R. Kelly. Well, guess what? I know somebody that daughter works with him. And guess what? Guess what? That story they telling you is not accurate. They're not trying to kill him in there. That's in his mind. You know what's happening? He's coming to the realization that he's not getting out, and he's going crazy. It happens. It's natural. Did you know that they give him his medication? He has access to his medication, and he has to administer his own medication. Did y'all know that? She said everybody likes him in there. Why is his life on the line? She said everybody likes him. He sings every day. They look forward to it. But he probably had a moment of clarity and like, you know what? I'm 50-some years old. I'm really not getting out of here. I'm really not getting out. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get out by any means necessary. It's not happening. It's not happening. You have to, doing what he was doing, I didn't follow his case, but doing what he was doing was unnecessary. But people with money, they think they can do whatever they want. But this should be a wake-up call for everybody out here doing what they're doing and think they can get away with it. This should be a wake-up call. And I heard these people out here, they're planted. Some of these people that's even at the trial today, they're planted. They were planted to be there. And you know what somebody is saying? He has another big mogul is getting ready to get convicted, get hung up. He said that. That means he knows something. Something is coming. So like whoever is next, They need to be ready because their money might not help them. It's gonna help the lawyers. Their lawyers is benefiting because they get paid regardless. This is their business. They used to all this. You can't just do what you want to do because you got money, man. The world is shifting, I think. It's a shift going on. They going after everybody. Boy, they went after Smokey. They went after Smokey Robinson. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, hell no. Nah. Even Smokey might have to pay. It ain't criminal, but he might have to pay something. When I saw him doing that little gyrating shimmy on stage, I said, oh shit, he might be thinking he still can catch. Damn, Smokey. Ain't that something? Think about this for a second. How would you feel? You had all the power, all the yes men around you for 3 decades, right? And you got some regular people, regular people deciding your life right now. How you think you feel? How you think he feel, man? It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Regular people gonna decide it. Some people say at least 2 charges out of the 5. He's definitely guilty on. That's what they're saying. Even if he don't get the racketeering, the Mann Act is hard. You know the Mann Act is hard to beat. Y'all know that, right? That's why I don't like it because they got Jack Johnson with it. It's very hard to beat. It's called the white slave law. Really, the white woman slave law. That's what it's really called. Because all you got to prove, okay, did they cross state lines for the purposes of illicit sex acts? And it can be consensual, yes or no? Yes, okay, then he's guilty on both of those. It's very easy to get convicted on just those two, and that carries a maximum of 10 years apiece. And I'm telling you right now, this judge, federal judges don't play. They do not play when it comes to this. They don't. Now, here's the thing: if he serve it concurrently, he's still in the ball game. He still got to serve some time though. Already got time served. So if let's say if he sentenced him to 5 years apiece, that's 10 years. That means he got to do at least 4. Well, all right. Say if he get 5 years on both counts, that's 10. He already got time served. Let's say a year. So he got to go at least 3 years before he's eligible for parole. 3, and the rest he can do outside. Now there will be limitations because he's a businessman, so they at least he have to petition to get his passport for business. But yeah, he'll be on paperwork for the remainder of those 5 years. But what happens if the judge max him out, give him 20? What happens then? So if he run it concurrently, he got time served, so he looking at 8 years. That's how it works. If you do the math, he looking at 8, 7.5 maybe. That's a long time. I don't give a damn. 7.5 is a long time. But there's a point system. I mean, he hasn't been in trouble since the over 10 years, so that'll work in his favor. But what happens if he do it consecutive though? Lord have mercy. That's when I will. At this point, my hat will drop, my pen will drop, and you'll hear it. Somebody will report it. Max act up in the courtroom. He needed some milk. He needed some milk. Now, what happens if he's found guilty on everything, and the judge say, "Okay, this count is consecutive to count 1. Now I need some milk." You gonna hear it. You like, Max is crazy, yo. Max Max showed his ass in court. I'll be just like the MTA lady. They have to kick me out, yo. They have to kick me out, man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So don't sit up here and report me, because we got YouTubers trying to report people. I'm going to tell y'all after this is over. I'm going to tell y'all what really happened. We got YouTubers with reporting people, dog, to the folks, for sure. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you after it's over. Because I'm going to tell you the behind the scenes after this is over with. I know y'all like, are you serious? I'm serious. So yes, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, man. I'll tell it at the end. Trust me, you'll know next week. I'll tell you. Because I got stories for you. You said, how did I get unsubscribed on one of my devices? Because you probably hit unsubscribe by accident. Or might hit unsubscribe. I might have pissed you off one night. I mean, let's be real. It happens. You be like, Lord, let me stay focused. And early in the morning. It's early in the morning. It's 9:24 in the morning. I'll walk her dog for her. She got 2 dogs. I'll walk them both for her every morning. Let me stop, y'all. Let me stop. Let me stop. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I ain't gonna walk her dogs. I might. She got one off the leash, though. She got one off the leash, and he looking at me. This ain't going. He looking at me, too. That'll be my introduction. I'm sorry. Your dog jumping on me. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Hello. My name is Max. And let me stop. Let me stop. Eyes. Let me stop. Eyes. Let me stop. It's too early for this. It's too early for me to be acting up. It ain't even 9:30 yet, and I'm acting up already. I gotta be somewhere. So, but yeah, this gonna be intense. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna need some milk. If he's guilty on everything, and the judge, well, no, we're not gonna have sentencing. The sentencing not gonna be that day. But Lord, I'm telling you, we have to come back for the sentencing. You know, they got victim impact statements, all that. But if it's guilty on everything, Lord, I might need some milk. I'm an empath too. Lord, I gotta really be focused, because man, that make me weak in the knees. I know how these feds be doing. They be serving people, boy. My cousin got served, yo, and he didn't even take it to trial. But it was good for him, but I didn't think it was good. 10 years ain't good for me. I almost showed out. They was like, no, it's really good, because if he had took this to trial, he'd have been facing, by the time he got out, cars would have been driving itself. That's what they told me. And it would have been around now. Craziness, man. Crazy. That's why I'd rather be regular, yo. I ain't trying to take no penitentiary chances. Fuck that. Not the way they serving people, because it says in the Constitution, slavery didn't end unless you're incarcerated. Fuck that. No, sir. No, sir. No way. I remember one time I picked somebody up from the, I ain't gonna tell that story, yo. I told it already. I'm not gonna tell it. But just know, I ain't gonna tell that. Nah. Sometimes you gotta keep your mouth shut. But crazy, man. Crazy stuff. Lord have mercy. But if they come back and say they got a full verdict, because you'll know, they'll say we reached a verdict. That means on everything. Well, no, not really. That means it's not guilty on some, or not guilty. It varies. But they come back and say, yeah, we got a verdict. Already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to rush to the courtroom. I'm going to sit in the back, yo. I got to sit in the back. I got to sit in the back. All rise for the jury. The jury comes in, okay? First of all, before that happens, the judge say, let me admonish the crowd, no outbursts. If you're going to have outbursts, leave now. And that's for everybody. Leave now. I understand all parties are present. The defendant is here, okay? Bailiff, go ahead and bring the jury in, please. Jury come walking in. You're not even going to hear a pin drop. I told you how that jury walks in. That jury walks in with, I never seen a jury like that. They all on point. I could tell. This dog getting closer and closer to me. He don't look like he'll bite, but those are the ones that'll bite, though. He don't look like it. But, all right, the jury come in, walk in. He's going to be staring the jury down to see if they make eye contact, but they not. And then the jury, everybody seat, and the judge will be like, okay, to the jury foreperson, I understand you reached a verdict. Yes, Your Honor. Hand over the jury forms, please. And he's going through the paperwork. You can hear it going through the paperwork. The judge is they're trained to be stone-faced. Okay, you may publish the verdict. May the defendant please rise. And the lawyers rise with him. United States versus Sean John Combs. We the jury on count one. Sometimes they'll let the jury foreperson read the verdict. I've seen that. Or they'll have the reporter, the clerk read it. Publish the verdict. That she'll read it. He or she'll read it, right? United States versus Sean John Combs. The jury on count one find a defendant, whatever it is. And they'll go down all counts. It'll be all counts they'll read. And then after it's all said and done, if it's not favorable to the defendant, they'll say, well, would you like to poll the jury? Yes. Juror number 12, is this your verdict? Yes. Juror number 15, that dog is getting closer and closer. It's a pit too. I just looking at it's a pit. It's getting closer and closer. She ain't even looking at it. We made full eye contact now. He coming, y'all. No, wait a minute. No, he not. He trained. Lord, let me stay focused. He trained though, good. I don't know why people do that, because you don't know if the dog will run in the street. He's circling her though. He's watching her. And the dog is trained, so that's good. But juror number 2, is this your verdict? Yes. They'll go down the line. And then the judge will be like, thank you for your service. Go to the deliberation room. I'll be in there just for some parting words. Thank you for your service. You're now free to talk to the press. If you don't want to talk to the press, I'll make arrangements so you'll get out of here without talking to the press. That's it. They're going back. That's it. They've done their job, and that's it. They've done their service. It could be any one of you guys speaking right now. You could be the jury right now. Okay? So that's going to be intense. Now, I have to give you the worst case scenario here. I have to do it. United States versus Sean John Combs. We the jury on count 1 find a defendant guilty. Okay? On count 2, we find the defendant guilty. Count 3, we find the defendant guilty, so on and so forth. He found guilty on everything. Because I reported, guys, they don't found him guilty on everything. Everything. That's like my thing. I got that. I did that in the War Machine trial, that MMA fighter. when he was on trial for assaulting his adult actress girlfriend at the time. Okay, they found him guilty on so many counts. I lost the taste in my mouth. That's how many counts he had. He had so many counts he was found guilty on. I lost the taste in my mouth, man. Guilty, 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 and then guilty some more. They found, man, he looked like he was getting ready to pass out. And that was it. He's still serving time. Craziness. The what he did to her, guys, if you ever look at that trial, what he did to her was just straight sadistic, yo. What he did to her, man. I knew he was gonna be found guilty. He damn near almost unalive though, yo. And you know what it was for? Being jealous. Being jealous and all that. Guys, keep your hands off these females, man. Keep your hands off of them. Keep your hands off of them. They only had one father and mother. You're not it. Keep your hands off of them. If they piss you off, walk away. That's it. This was told to me, walk away. I had somebody throw canned goods at me one time. Sure did. She was throwing canned goods like she Roger Clemens in the World Series, man. Dented the wall and everything. Now, what if I had laid my hands on her? What am I going to tell the cops? She's severely bipolar? They like, yeah, well, okay, cool. You going to jail. You're going to jail because you should have walked away. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. That was one relationship I couldn't wait to break up. It was in the middle of a damn hurricane was coming. This is in the early 2000s when that hurricane flooded Virginia, Central Virginia. I said, well, if you leave now and go back to Atlanta, you will miss it. I sure did, yo. She had to get out of my house. Sure did. I learned my lesson on that. You better vet people before you move in with them. I sure did. That shit gave me PTSD. That gave me PTSD so bad, yo. There was one case, she blacked out on the highway. She dropped me off right on the highway, yo. She dropped me off, and that was like, it seemed like forever to get to the exit. And it was raining, and it was dark. And I'm on the highway with no reflectors or nothing on. And the shoulder where she dropped me off at, the shoulder was narrow, okay? The shoulder was narrow. Dropped me off right on the highway, man, straight up. I could have laid my hands on her then, but I didn't. And then she came back and picked me up and picked my ass up. I could have got unalived out there that night. I could have got unalive that night. But, yeah, broke up, boy. Crazy. She said it one time, just lay your hands on me. I know you want to hit, just lay your hand. I'm like, no, I'm not. I got out of there. Then she went running after me. It was crazy. I went running too. It was crazy. I was like, what's his name? Jonathan Majors, running. Sure did. I was a little slimmer back then. She could not catch me. I knew shit. My tight end skills went into effect. I used to be a tight end. My tight end, she couldn't catch me. I was gone. Sure had. She was running barefoot after me. It's crazy, bro. I ain't put my hands on her. So don't put your hands on nobody. You better use restraint. See, because if I had did, I'd been right up in Richmond prison. Right in the prison, yo. And that prison down in Richmond ain't no joke. People get unalived in that prison because of the heat. Craziness. I turned into Tony Gonzalez and Mark Bavaro. Sure did. I didn't turn into Aaron Hernandez. Rest in peace. I was dipping and everything. Yo, they were like, what you running for? I'm like, her. It was like, shit, what you running for, man? I see, you see that blade in her hand? She got a blade in her hand, yo. Straight up. I never got in a relationship like that ever again. I learned my lesson. But y'all know, I'm not hate to be graphic, but I have to tell you, because we all grown here. The crazy they are, they got the fire downstairs. That's all I can tell you. That's the only thing I can tell you without being graphic. They got the fire. The fire. Fire punani. They sure do. Fire. They got the fire. Okay? They got the snapper. They got the snapper out this piece. And I succumb to it. They got the snap. They'll talk to you dirty and everything. They'll talk to you. Poppy, give me all that leche. They sure would say that. Poppy, give me all that leche. And you young too, and you turned out. You turned out, man. And the crazy she is, she turned out. See, that's why, like I said, my nephew, I told him the game. I said, the crazy they are, you better be careful. Especially into them tarot cards. And I don't give a damn if somebody getting offended right now. So what? So what? I'm living off experience. Them herbal tea women are crazy. Them herbal tea women, when I'm talking about them Erykah Badu women, because that's how she was. Them Erykah Badu women, yo, they will have you turned the fuck out. Doing all type of rituals on you. Giving you the pepper and everything. Yes, for you West Indian, I know about the pepper. Yes, I do. I know y'all like, how you know about that? Because I know. I dated one. I know about it. They do rituals on your ass. Sure do. They do rituals. I done been through every type of experience. That's crazy. That's why I'm single now. I got PTSD. I got PTSD, man. I got PTSD. Shout out to my West Indian women. It's all love. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know how y'all get. Shout out to my West Indian women. But anyway, Puff. Godspeed, man. That's the only thing I can say. Closing statements. They probably starting a little late today, but closing statements, baby. That's where it's at. I tell you right now, them U.S. attorneys ain't no joke. Comey ain't no joke. She might be doing the closing, Comey. AUSA Comey. Attorney of the United States. Somebody said he ain't getting no pardon, man. That's what somebody said. It's craziness. It's up to the jury. Y'all know that. You said the earthly women, they don't like wearing clothes like that either. They're just very sensual. That's the only thing I can say. And I was young and I fell victim. I sure did. I sure did. She probably listening too. She probably laughing. Because every time I start alluding to her, here she come out the fucking woodworks. Oh, you talking about me. You talking about me. No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't talking about you. She said, I can have you anytime I want. I said, I'm prayed up. No, you can't. I'm prayed up. You heard me? I'm prayed up. I'm prayed up, man. I'm too old for that. I'm too old for it. Too old for the nonsense. That's why Erykah Badu, everybody she date, they change up. Andre 3000 ain't never been the same. Never been the same. He turned into Andre 1000. You said they're spiritual? Yeah, damn right. Closing statements, folks, is happening today. You said Jay Electronica went missing for years. Ain't even have an album. Talking about his album about to drop. He been saying it for the past 2.5 years, man. Album dropping, album drop. It's coming, it's coming. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Because your ass is caught up. And I understand. I understand. She's still like that. I can see it in her face. She's still like that. Who's giving the opening statements for both sides? It's gonna more than likely it's gonna be for the defense, Mark Agnifilo, and probably Comey from Maureen Comey from the government. And she ain't no kind of joke. I'm telling you, I witnessed it. She ain't no joke. She's very like surgical with it. She's surgical. She's gonna be surgical today. I'm gonna be reading it from the Inner City Press, but you have to be there to witness it. She's very surgical. Surgical. He better thank his lucky stars he ain't get on that stand. And she's surgical with it. Like surgical. It's not even. It's an understatement. She's just very good at what she does. She's very surgical in her the way she go about it. Um, Very good though. She's very good. She just can't put him to sleep though. She's very good. I never witnessed Agnifilo do a closing, but we about to see. Yeah, so we're gonna see how he does, man. I believe he's the closer. I believe he's gonna be the one to, bring it home. He got to create. He got to create so much doubt. He got to create the doubt. Oh, you 66? Blessings to you. Blessings to you. So, what do you think is gonna happen, Sylvia Davis? Because I already know just from doing the polls, he look like he's gonna be found guilty on something. Everybody you talk to says gonna be guilty on something. He's not gonna go get away with this clean. He's gonna have to do some time. Now it's depending on guys. All right, so that S trafficking, just to let you know how dire this is. Let's say if he's found not guilty on the RICO. Let's say if he's found guilty on the trafficking with Cassie, the trafficking on Jane, plus the Mann Acts. You know how many years that is? That's a minimum of 30 years. Minimum. The judge can't go under that. It's 30 years. 15 for Cassie and 15 for Jane. That's 2 counts. The S trafficking carries a minimum of 15 years. Okay? He can't go under that. 30 years. Now let's say he run the S trafficking charges concurrently in the Mann Act consecutive. Before he's eligible for parole, he's looking at what does the penalty what he gets based on the Mann Act, 5 apiece. He looking at 30 years. That's 30. Before he's eligible. Well, he got time served on a year. He gonna have to do, man, that's essentially life sentence, man. Essentially. That's 15 apiece. 30 years, man. But some people seem to think it's gonna run concurrent. So let's say 15, right? Okay, 15 across the board. Okay, let's say 15. He got a year, say 14, because he got time served already, right? He'll be eligible for parole in, let's see, 14. He's looking at 12. 12 years. However, if he's guilty on everything, it depends on what the judge is going to sentence him to on the racketeering. That's 0 to life in prison if somebody got murked. That's life in prison, but nobody died here. So yeah, he's facing a lot of time, baby. A lot of time. And if he don't get a pardon, his next thing is the appeals process. That could take years. And he still might not get any relief. So you said Jane is a willing participant. Okay, so if you believe that, then he's going to be found not guilty on at least the trafficking of Jane. How about the Mann Act? The Mann Act is very easy to get convicted on. Did you cross state lines for the purposes of illicit sex acts? Yes or no? Or do you just believe they were in a relationship? Okay, so if it's not guilty on them two, how about Cassie? Is it trafficking on Cassie? And the Mann Act on Cassie? If you have to compare Cassie to Jane, Cassie is very credible. She was very candid in her testimony. Yeah, I did this, I did that. I set up this, I set up that. But then they played the hotel video. Now, it's up to you to believe if she was leaving a freak off or not. That's why she wanted to leave. Or did you believe she got mad at something else? How would you know she got mad at something else? The guy in the room didn't testify. He didn't even testify. I would at least had him testify for the defense. So if he wasn't willing to testify for the government, I would have brought him in for the defense to say that she got mad at something else. They didn't do that. Okay? So now the jury is going to have to rely on the case in its totality to come up with something. They're going to have to fill in the blanks. You said, just like Cassie left Diddy for the personal trainer, she could have left a long time ago, but for the love of money and fame, yeah, that part. Well, then in that case, you're going to find him not guilty on the trafficking for her then, if you feel that way. So if you feel that way, then she's not guilty on the trafficking, but how about the Mann Act? You probably, the way you're talking, you probably would say, like, not guilty on that too, and not guilty on Jane and the other stuff. But how about the racketeering, though? Was there bribery in this case? Yes or no? Was it? You only have to find 2 predicate acts. That's it. Collectively, they only have to come up with 2. Within a 10-year period, that's it, 2. Was there forced labor? Yes or no? Do you believe that there was forced labor? Yes or no? Now, I'm going to take you back to a testimony. And I know they're going to bring this up in the closing. I know they are. Because they're trying to get him on forced labor predicate act. You remember when Mia testified? Was it Mia? I can't remember. I know she went under a pseudonym. Remember when she testified, the assistant, and said that this was in Miami, Two-Star Island. She said she left because she thought, okay, I'm gonna leave, right? And he called her and said, "What you leaving for?" And had the bodyguards go get her. Is that forced labor? Yes or no? I know they're gonna bring it up in the closing. I know they are. I know they are. That's considered forced labor. I know they're gonna bring it up. I know they are, because then you might say the other assistants, that was their prerogative. They wanted to work, right? Remember when she said, "Well, I worked 5 hours, I worked 5 days straight and didn't get no sleep, and I did it as a challenge." Well, was it forced labor? Now, you might think it's not, but we don't know what the jury is thinking. They might think so. So that's two predicate acts already. Those are the two predicate acts, that and on the bribery. You see how this is dangerous? This is a dangerous case. They only need to come up with two. No, they didn't get them for kidnapping on that, because they said the kidnapping happened in New York State and California. That story happened in Miami, Florida. So they didn't get them on that. That's not, they didn't get them on kidnapping. However, they still have forced labor on the table. And they're gonna bring up in the closing, remember this. They're gonna bring up in the closing about these people working long hours. Now my question to you is, if I'm in the deliberating room, right? If I'm the jury for a person, I'm gonna be like, is this forced labor? Well, let's tell ourselves this. Let's think about this. I'm gonna give you something to think about. In the entertainment industry, is this a common practice? Yes or no? Do anybody know? I'm gonna be asking around in the jury. Do anybody have any experience? Because you don't remember this. You don't leave your common sense and experience outside the deliberation room. You don't. You take it in with you. So we're gonna inquire. Is that a common practice? Well, we don't know. Okay, well, since we don't know, we're gonna have to go off this then. Was it forced labor or not? We all work. These people work 9 to 5s. They can't fathom working 5 days straight without getting no sleep. They might think it's forced labor. This is a very dangerous case. Very dangerous. I looked at this case in 360, and I came to the determination, if it was me, I would have took a deal. But I would have took a deal and then kept my appellate rights. That's very important. So yes, I'm taking a deal, but however, I can still take this to the appellate court. I'm keeping my rights, my appellate rights. But if they say, well, no, you can't keep your appellate rights, you got to do that 15, then I might take it to trial. I might. Unless they can work out a 10-year deal or something like that. Then I'm looking at, okay, realistically speaking. But then if I do that, I will have to discuss, are you going to confiscate my assets, though? I will have to have that worked out. So if they're not going to confiscate my assets, then okay, I'm looking at 7 years to do in federal prison. This is not like R. Kelly, because R. Kelly, he should have taken a deal. R. Kelly should have taken a deal. I don't know why he didn't. He should have taken a deal. He would have been out in 10. He should have taken a deal on that. He would have been out in 15, actually, probably. He should have taken a deal. Because they already had the documentary, they had everything, and the universe had already showed him favor. See, I believe this. The universe had already showed him favor, and he beat that first trial. He should have learned his lesson from then. But no. You know how I knew something was wrong? Because Touré was like, well, teenage. He said, well, when you say teenage, how young are you talking? I knew it was something wrong then. You can't you can't cure that. What you mean? How young are we talking? If I'm in my 40s, I'm dating somebody 18. That we don't have nothing in common. We don't have anything in common. 18 and 40. What you have in common with an 18-year-old? The hell you have in common? You don't even have music in common. What I look like going to a NBA YoungBoy concert, man? Max, you say you have some 19-year-old friends. Max, you better learn from this case. You better be careful. Well, you young, Max. Max is young. He's young. I forgot you young. Better be careful, Max, with your friends. You young though. You said I know you're saying they're willing participants, right? I'm saying that too. But I'm thinking as the jury right now, what the jury is thinking. They might be thinking the same thing you're thinking. If there's some people in the jury that's thinking what you're thinking and others are not, we having a hung jury. It's gonna be a hung jury on everything. Promise you that. But we don't know what they're thinking. You said, do you think 19-year-old female and 29-year-old male is a red flag? Yes, that's a red flag. 19 and you almost 30. 19 and 29, that's a red flag. Yes. I know some people that trifling though. I do. You said best rule to live by 18 is good, but 21 is better. That's not a good rule, Antoine. Because if you're saying 18 is good, that means you will consider it. Yo, it's too early, man. It's too early for this. That ain't no rule, yo. That's a red flag rule. You said the rule is 18 is good, but 21 is better. 21 ain't even good for me. If I tell y'all right now I got a 21-year-old girlfriend, y'all gonna look at me trifling. Y'all be like, Max is trifling, yo. Max is trifling. He trifling. Let me tell you something. My friend's daughter is about to eventually turn 18. She acts like a baby. She acts like a child. Because she is a child. She acts like it. She acts like it. When we went to we had a New York trip and we went to Washington Square Park. That girl went running for the swings, yo. She sit up there and she ooh swing. She went started swinging. She started swinging. So that's a baby. Cause she act like it. You said, have y'all spoken to an 18-year-old? I'm just explaining it now, Chantel. They act like babies because they are. Listen, when I was 18, bruh, I was still, only thing I was worried about is buying the latest sneakers, yo. That's the only thing I was worried about. And I'm still like that. I still got a sneaker fetish. I still do. Okay? I still do, but I was worse back then. I was worse back then. Worse. I was like considered an old soul, but I was worse. Now knowing what I know now, no, I was a baby. When you say 18 is good and 21 is better, for me though, at our age, 21 is a child. At my age, 21 is a child. I drive Lyft for some time, and I remember, on party nights, I'll pick him up from the college. The stuff I be hearing is crazy. The stuff I be hearing. Sir, close your ears. I can't close my ears. Y'all are trifling. I can't close my ears. And y'all shouldn't be drunk going to the club. Look, I'm acting like I'm somebody's father. Y'all shouldn't be drunk going to the club. And I said you should hike your damn skirt down. That's what you should do. And you should go home and put something else on. I said this. No, this is how we dress. I said, that's how you dress? You got a goddamn nightgown on going to the club. That's how they dress. They got a damn nightgown on going to the club. And then the guys, they act even more. They act even younger than that. They just. But that's how it is. It's the evolution of life. You have to live out your youth. You don't want to grow up too fast. I mean, I would say. I would say. Let me see. What age is considered okay? You have to be. You got to be working. You have to be out of your. You got to be out of your parents' house. You got to be working. So that's around. That's kids. They don't leave the house until after 25 these days. I would say 30. No, not 30. I would say, yeah, 30, man. For me, I would say 30 at least. And me, that's still kind of crazy. 30 is still kind of crazy. They sitting up there listening to Sexy Red and shit. You ain't got nothing in common. They sitting there listening to Sexy Red and all this stuff right there. But I guess it just depends. I can't speak for nobody. I can only speak for myself. Some people say, well, 2018 is fine. Some coaches, some coaches, 2018 is fine in certain coaches. A guy I work with, he married a 19-year-old. He sure did. Went back to his country and married a 19-year-old. He was in his late 40s. And guess what happened? She got over here and divorced his ass. She sure did. She sure did. You said Dane Cook is 26 years older than his wife. Well, how old is Dane Cook? I've heard of that name, but how old is he? You said you so you think if a man dates teenagers and he's 10 plus older, you think someone you can't trust. Wait, hold on. You can't trust little kids around? I don't know what you're talking about. What you mean, so you think if a man dates teenagers and he's 10 years older, you think it's someone you can't trust little kids around? Dane Cook is 23. I mean, 53. Hold on, let me see. You feel like you get an 18-year-old was peeping him around 17. That's probably what it is. It's like grooming, because you gotta find out, when did he meet this person? Okay, the person's 18, they dating, but when did they meet? The fuck, he was waiting around the corner. Okay, she 18. Let me go. That's creepy. Okay, so you said his wife was about 27, 28. Eh, I mean, that's not all the way bad. That's not all the way bad, but you said I was married with two kids at 21. How old was your old man when you was 21? I guess your situation is different. Yeah, that's different. I mean, you 21, he 23. That's different. Y'all around the same age. Mentally, y'all the same age. Yeah, high school, so that's different. You said, I'm asking, would you not want little people around a guy like that? No, why would I want somebody around a guy like that? I feel like you asking me a trick question. No, I don't want somebody around no kids like that. 27, yeah, 27 is a little better. His wife is 27, 28. That's a little better. That's okay. That ain't that bad. Oh, all the old guys would talk to you. Well, how old were you at the time? 18? Yeah, you do have some guys who will try to talk to you. Sure, you sure would. Yeah, you don't want the same for your kids. You want them to live life, travel. I would say you need to travel, see the world. I know somebody, he's young. He traveled, right? He did the right thing. He traveled, right? He moved out of the country and got booed up. He sure did. I believe he got booed up too fast. Because in this particular country, they not trying to hear you looking at no other woman. They not. I don't know why guys think they can go somewhere and they say it's better. No, it's not. They just don't know no better. He got booed up as soon as he got there. As soon as he got there, man. And he don't go out partying, But maybe, I mean, he found his sweetheart, man. Some coaches, they get married young, really, really young. That used to happen here back in the day. Our great grandparents used to get married mad young. They used to get married mad young back then. I remember my boy, his grandparents, they had their, you know, what do you call it? They were married so damn long. I did the math on it. I saw their age. I said, damn, he married her when she was 16 and he was in his 20s, well, late 20s. That's a little trifling. That's what I said to myself. It's trifling. Y'all trifling, man. It's not better. Isn't there a man missing? Who got missing? You got to understand, certain cultures is different. Certain cultures, 18 is fine. You got to consider the culture as well. Because what's good for them ain't good for us, you know what I'm saying? It don't mean what they doing is bad, but 18, they do be getting married at 18. They do. They be getting married at 18, man. We used to do that, but that's not practical anymore. There's so much to do now. Back then it was different. You got your education you got to get. You say you may be young, but you're ready. 80s Keith Sweat. That's that R. Kelly shit. Seem like you're ready. I don't know what he was singing about. It sound good, but if you think about it, what the hell are he talking about? Seems like you're ready. You talking about American culture? I'm talking about other cultures. They be getting married young. It ain't nothing for them to get married at 18. But I'm gonna tell you about these other cultures though. When they come over here, it's the same way, but the men is off the hook. They do their thing, regardless. Yeah, that's how they used to do back in the day. 16, 17, 11 kids. There wasn't no TV back then. That's why people had so many kids. They had no TV in the house. That was the entertainment. You said R. Kelly was in plain sight with it. The reason why he wasn't found out sooner because people turned a blind eye to it. That's why. Everybody was making money off of him. That's why. There's a reason for that. That's why they turned a blind eye to it, knowing he was trifling. Going to the mall getting numbers like a teenager. In the mall getting numbers. And then girls is on it. They're like, that's R. Kelly. Let me give him my number. This dude was in, I forget what country in Africa. He had a concert. He was like, do you have your passport? He was singing it a cappella. Do you have your passport? Do you have your passport? I'm like, what the fuck? Man, that dude was crazy. Do you have your passport? Yeah, the parents would know better because they let them go with R. Kelly for studio sessions. You're not going to let your 16-year-old daughter go to a closed studio session with R. Kelly and you're not there. I'm going to be there. Hey, I'm going to take your daughter to a studio session, okay? I'll bring her back. Bullshit. I'm going with you. So the parents is at fault too. See, we live in a society we want to hold people accountable. That Jocelyn Savage and Osriel Clary, their parents at fault too, I think. I don't care what they saying. Letting them go to no closed studio session with R. Kelly. Now, like with Michael Jackson, man, they set that man, they set him all the way up. I'm not gonna be having no sleepovers with no kids and I'm in my damn 20s, 30s. I'm not doing that. That don't seem right. Let's have sleepovers. Bullshit. Because you'll easily get caught up on a lie. Maybe you didn't do anything. Maybe you really was having a sleepover, but that sound weird. Having a sleepover, that's weird. It's weird. That's weird. Okay? No, I mean, he got acquitted of it because they were lying. Okay, so what happened with Michael, he got lied on. And it was easy to set him up, though. He went in and out. It's almost like he had two personalities. He went into a childlike state, and he act like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll go in and out. But when it's time for business, he's a grown ass man when it comes to business. You said I know, but some think he really did it. Hey, but it's easy to set him up though. You feel what I'm saying? Like if I'm sitting up here telling you I'm having sleepovers, you're gonna be like, that's weird, yo. And if some accusations come up on me, I'm screwed. I'm done. No, we was really having sleepovers. Bro, you weird. Okay? You weird. Ain't no room for no sleepovers. You're supposed to, at your age, you're supposed to be having sleepovers with the missus. He was set up because if you look at it, one of the kids said when he got older, he said they set him up. They wanted that catalog bad, that ATV catalog. They wanted that thing bad, yo. If he had sold it, he would have been straight. He didn't sell it. Some people are just, easy for the setup. They just set him up. I believe he was pure at heart, though. He didn't mean nothing by it. He was just trying to help people, but you just can't set yourself up. This guy out here in the park doing karate. He walk in the circle. He doing that karate. Yeah, he had a childlike in it. Yeah, but he turned it on and off. Yeah, I saw the special on Conrad Murray's. It was more to that situation. But even if it's not a conspiracy, you don't go outside and you got somebody on a propofol drip. You don't, because what happens if something go wrong and you sitting outside on the phone, macking on the phone with one of his ladies and got that man on a propofol drip? What happens if the machine malfunction? Now you got to try to reverse it to try to wake him up on a damn propofol drip. You ever been on propofol? I had to when I had to have surgery. Bro, that stuff ain't no joke, yo. I told them, I said, let me know when y'all ready to have surgery. They said, okay. I said, let me know, because they gave me something, because that was my first surgery and I had anxiety. And they gave me something in my veins. Man, I felt good, man. I felt like I was on Mars, yo. I never felt that shit is dangerous. I don't know what they put in my veins that calm me down. And then I started bumping my gums even more because I was relaxed, yo. Trying to get my Mac on, talking to the nurse, asking her was she single. She said, yeah. I said, when I wake up, my number gonna be on the table for you. Just acting all kind of crazy. And then they transported me to the surgery bed table, and I said, y'all, let me know when y'all getting ready to have surgery. They said, okay, we'll let you know. I said, all right. I said, I'm gonna close my eyes for a little bit and let me know when y'all ready. That's when they had already administered that shit to me. I didn't know. I woke up, it was over with. I said, when y'all about to have surgery? She said, you in the recovery room. It's crazy. I didn't feel nothing. Woke up, it was over with. I felt the cut though in the surgery because I had surgery on my knee. I felt it. I said, damn, they really did. They really did get me. They got me good too. Man, it's so nice out here today, man, guys. It's like it's windy too, and it's a real nice breeze. It's like the calm before the storm that before they start deliberating. Do you guys think that the deliberation not going to take that long? How long you guys think the deliberation will take? If it's anything past, I don't know, one day, Ariane, if it's one day, he in trouble. I'm telling you, he is in trouble because it don't take that long. Then they're like, all right, he get this, that. We got this. Check it off. Let's go. Let's enjoy our 4th of July, man. Let's enjoy the rest of our summer, man. 2 days is not good. You said 80 in Vegas. Damn, you said probably till tomorrow. Damn, you said the same day after the defense closed? Fuck. That means they really had their mind made up. They had their mind made up. If it only take 24 hours, a couple of hours. Because if they end tomorrow, then let's say the defense closed tomorrow and end tomorrow. If it only take a couple hours after that, I don't even know what to tell you. That means they had their mind made up. Lord have mercy. And that's the day I'm going to be there. That's the day I'm going to be there. No, they can't take their notes in there, Ariane. You're right. You think it'll take a few days? A few days is not bad. That's not bad at all. I will be around the courtroom, just let y'all know. Even if they deliver, I'm going to be around. Put the camera on, see what I can get. But if I see that family come back in the courtroom, I'm making a beeline for the courtroom. Guys, I got to go. They coming back for a reason. I'm going to follow them right in there, too. I did that before. When they were going in, I was right in back of them. I'm going right in there. And I will know because, like, members of the press, if they go running, I'm going with them. I'm going with them, man. Two ladies in the front will always look at each other and shake their heads in agreement during testimony. So where they may have their mind made up. Where were they shaking their heads at? Were they looking at him shaking their heads, or were they shaking their head in agreement with the defense or the prosecution? See, I don't know that part because I wasn't in the courtroom with him, so I can't see the jury reaction. But were they reacting to the prosecutors, you think? I don't know. You said breaking, hey, I'm hearing Trump will not pardon Puff. Where did you hear that from? Howard, where'd you hear it from? I heard another YouTuber say that. Now, is it official? Did it come out the White House? Oh, shaking her head when the women were on the stand discussing the free calls? Where did you get that from, Howard? Who's reporting it? The publications are reporting it? Oh, the White House aides are hinting at it? That means 50 Cent. He 50 is his boy, actually. They play golf together. I don't know if y'all know that. And he appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Him and Tiger Woods and them playing golf with him. Because when they played golf with him, it wasn't popular back then to be hanging with him. You see what I'm saying? Now, he's always been tight with Mike Tyson, so that's a given. He been tight with Mike Tyson since the 80s. Back when he was fighting at Trump Plaza, with the boxing. So he's always been tight with Mike. You know what I'm saying? So everybody knew that. So nobody was holding Mike to that. But when he became president the first time, remember, it wasn't popular to hang out with him. And he felt a certain kind of way because he used to hang out with these people when he was a celebrity. But see, Trump has 3 lives. The first time, when his dad gave him that money and he started investing in real estate, that was his first life. His second life is when he became the apprentice and he became a celebrity. He was always a celebrity to people in the tri-state anyway, before anybody knew him. But then his third life is politics. That's when people stop hanging with him. So 50 and them kept hanging with him. He always hung with him. Like, well, when I say hang with him, I'm talking about playing golf. At Mar-a-Lago. It's not a popular, wasn't a popular thing to do. And I guess he respect that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were hanging with me back then you went to the inauguration, he might hold favor. If 50 did talk to him, he will hold favor with him. You know what I'm saying? And then Puff did say that if he don't belong in the White House, and if he did, it'll be a race war. He said that. He said that. So that's kind of like harsh words, you know what I mean? But he said what was popular to the other people that were down on him. I would have just kept my mouth shut. No, he may have been at Bedminster, but he played golf with him at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, he played golf with him at him and Tiger and them. They always should come out and play golf. They had some type of event one time and he showed up. That's what I was talking about. Some like celebrity golf event or some bullshit. So if he did talk to him, he reached him. Like, nah, you're not doing that. All them celebrities used to hang with him, man. When he married Melania, Shaq gifted him a Rolls Royce. Go look. He sent him a Rolls Royce for his wedding gift. But like I said, when he came into politics, it wasn't kind of popular to be around him. So yeah, more than likely, if the White House aides are hinting at it, then it's a no-go. I don't think 50 was trolling when he said he was gonna reach out to him. That he wasn't trolling. He meant that. Like, nah, you're not pardoning him, yo. Nope, you're not pardoning him, man. And to be honest with you, like with this type of case, it's hard to like be associated with that, and it's involving like the domestic violence and everything. Because remember, he got to leave the White House at some point. He don't want the feds coming after him to get back at him on this. You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at you got to look at the bigger picture. Yeah, I know they're doing it now, Howard. You said she painting that picture saying all they need to do is prove two predicate acts. Yeah, we just talked about it. All they need is two predicate acts. No, he wasn't trolling. He really do golf with him. That's a fact. He really do. And Trump respect that because the reason why is because everybody started distancing themselves. Snoop don't do it no more. He was at the inaugural ball. So they back cool again. You would think somebody that old wouldn't be that petty. He wouldn't remember shit. He do though. He remember everything. Like, okay, you said this about me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not fit to be president and all that. But that means you still feel that way about me. You got to think about stuff like that. What if it was you? Everybody against you. You don't got impeached. I don't know how many damn times, right? And you caught a case on top. Look, and you got caught a case. This man got dragged for a whole year straight, dragged in the media, dragged. As soon as he left the White House, because when he got petty, right, didn't even go to Biden's inauguration, he just bounced. He got dragged for a whole year straight. Dragged in the media. You don't think he gonna remember that? And he got dragged. He got dragged. You hear me? And then he called a case. He had to sit up there. So okay, so if you think about that, then you said he's not fit to be president. It'd be a race war. I don't know if he meant that. Did he mean that when he said that, or he just said it to sound good? Did he really mean that? Some things you can't take back. That's why I say sometimes you gotta close your mouth, because certain things, like if you say something to somebody, you can't take it back, and that person will hold a grudge against you. It's just best to just not say nothing. You can talk under your breath though. I'm a master at that. Or I'll do telepathy and say it in my mind to you. Like I would like be that kind of way, but I wouldn't just outwardly. No, he didn't curse nobody out. He said they don't know what the F they doing. He got mad because he trying to work out a peace agreement, and they sitting up there testing their toys. Yeah, I don't think he meant it, but it was popular to say at that time. You know what I'm saying? It was popular. Like, okay, yeah, he ain't fit. You know what I'm saying? I need to do my own black political party, like that. It was, something that sound good, but I could have told him that he still got motion and he was going to win that thing again. He got motion. He still got motion. I could have told him that. So if you know somebody got that type of motion, you just want to just don't say nothing. Say something on the background, like, send them a note like, yeah, congratulations, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say that, congratulations on the victory. You know what I mean? Just on the low with it. You don't have to say it publicly, just on the low so he'll know. Just in case you need him, because you're out here being trifling. And you might get caught up. So I might have to, you got to keep allies. You just might as well just stay shut. Keep your mouth shut. Just like something happened to me out in front of the courtroom. I was like, pardon self, and I just walked off. I was like, yeah, man, I was just trying to help you out, but I just walked off. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want that smoke. Because when somebody that crazy, you don't want to have no smoke in public with somebody that crazy. So I just walked off. And you make people look stupid when you walk off and don't say nothing. That make them look stupid. So just walk off, yo. Take that L and just walk off. That's what I did. I took a L and walked off. Y'all don't even know. Somebody recorded it. Eventually, y'all will see it. But what's his name? He didn't put that in his video. But he got it, though. Yeah, man. I took a L, yo. I was just trying to help her. Because the dude was about to hit her. And I said, I am not going to let him hit this woman in front of me. I'm not going to let that happen. Me and him would have had to square up. But, yeah. I wasn't going to, let it happen. Like, you're not going to sit up here and lay her out in front of me. Somebody got to get held back. And he looked like he didn't mind laying his hand on a woman. That was the second time. The first time, this wild dude, he was crazy, yo. He was out there vlogging. Not guilty this, free that. He was like, the man this, y'all should be ashamed of yourself. And she sat up there and got in the way of what he was doing. He said, girl, do you know I'll put my hands on you right now? He chased her right across the street, too. I was right there. She straight up got quiet because he was ready to go the distance. He's like, you know what I'll do to you right now? Ain't nobody gonna stop me. I said, nah, I would have stopped him. I would have tried to. He looked like he was lifting weights since he was 5. But here's what I noticed on him. It was a skinny on I noticed on him. He been lifting weights and all that, but his legs were skinny. His legs were skinny. That's a disadvantage. Because all I got to do is take his knees out. That would have been it. It would have been a wrap. Remember, in the streets, nothing is clean. If you can take the knees out, that'll be it. I would have saved the woman that day because I would have had to. I would have had to. You can't be weak in the knees like SWV. I don't give a damn how big you are up top. You weak in the knees like SWV. Your core is strong, but your legs is weak. And I'm not gonna sit up there and let her get somebody lay hands on her in front of me. I don't care how crazy she act. I said that to her too. I said I ain't gonna let him lay his hands on you, but you know what I'm saying? She's like, I respect that. She came back to me and said that after she blew a gasket on me. And then I told her, I said, people gonna sit out here and try to get you fired, yo. You better chill. She got a good job too. But I don't like to intervene in domestic stuff. That's how your ass will get laid out. I remember one time out here, it was a domestic situation happening. I said, the best I can do is call 911. That's the best thing I could do. Because he had something on him. It's fucking 90 degrees out here and he got a trench coat on. Bullshit. He got something on him. You ain't gonna be out here at 90 degrees and got a damn bubble coat on. And you ain't got nothing on you. He got something on him. So you know what I was thinking? 911, what's your emergency? He out here laying her out. Yes, he is. Y'all better hurry up. And I would have said it in a low voice. He laying her out right in front of me. He laying her out. Y'all better hurry up. She ain't gonna make it. And she was just talking smack to him. You ain't gonna do nothing. Take it out. She said, pull it out right now. And you know what I did? I walked right to my car. She said, pull it out. They were right in front of me. I said, pull what out? And he got a bubble goose on. It's 90 degrees. He got a hammer. That's what I was thinking. He had been on blam all of us. He would have blamed me for witnessing it. Bullshit. I went right to my car. Yes, I did. I'm not. Do I look tough to you? The answer is no. No, I'm not. I'm in a protected class because I'm older. I am not out here messing with these young fools. He wasn't young, though. He was like in his 50s. But he said, yeah. He said, I'll end you right now. You know that? He said, what's up, my brother? Said that to me. I said, what's up, man? Walked right to my car. I sure did. But you don't just make it obvious. I eased on out. Just don't ease on to the car. You said, didn't you have Sasha with Antoine? I'm in New Jersey. This happened in New Jersey. This happened not too long ago. No, I do not have Sasha with me. If I admit on this live I don't have Sasha with me. Sasha in Virginia. I left Sasha home. Yep. Morning. Hey, good morning. How you doing? Good morning. No, Sasha is home. She's back. Sasha is currently 5 hours away. Sasha's 5 hours away. From where I'm sitting right now, I'm 5 hours away from my spot in Virginia. 5 hours. If I leave right now, I get there in 5 hours. But at night, it takes 4. 4 hours. 4 hours away. If I leave at midnight, I'm 4 hours away. But 5 hours during the day. Yeah, he had something with him. He had a bubble coat on. He had a bubble coat on. Lord have mercy. I got to get focused. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Anyway, um, 5 hours away. And yes, I'm out here on the humble. Now, you can't take Sasha across state lines. I can take her as far as Pennsylvania. If I cross into New Jersey, that's a minimum of 5 years. Minimum. 5 years. Fed time. 5 years. And the reason why they're so harsh on it, because most of the guns on the street come from Virginia, if y'all don't know. Because out in Virginia, we have the gun show loophole. I'm going to show y'all one day. I'm going to go to a gun show and I'm going to buy one right in front of y'all. And I'm going to show you. I don't have to show no ID, just cash. But I have to go get it registered. I have a certain amount of time to go get that thing registered. And I have to register it with the state. And that's it. I give them the serial number and everything, the paperwork, and I'm registered. But you don't have to. They don't have to know you have it because there ain't no paperwork. It's called the gun show loophole. They still have it. I'm surprised they still have it because all the problems we having. But I told you the biggest lobbyist in D.C. is the NRA, National Rifle Association. The second biggest lobbyist is the AARP. Second biggest. Well, it don't matter if she was taunting them. But I got to my car. That's what I did. I got to my car. I waited to see what he was going to do. But I got to my car, yo. And I had the car on, just in case I had to peel off. That's right. It ain't nothing wrong with getting out of harm's way and running. There's nothing wrong with it. I might look big, but I ain't that damn big. I can run. I sure can. That's one thing. I lost weight, too, since I've been out here. I sure did. I'm losing weight with it. You see? We got a track over here. All I got to do is walk the track. All I got to do is walk out here 5 times around this track. I'm losing weight with it over here. You feel me? You said as well as in Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Yeah, I can go there. I'm talking about New Jersey. No, I cannot. No, I cannot. And you better not take that chance because it's 5 years. That's even without a record, 5 years. If I'm lucky, I'll get out in 2. If I'm lucky. Or I can serve it all. I can do a few months and serve it all on paperwork, but I doubt it. It's 5 years max. It's 5 years here. Second offense is more. First offense is 5. And if you go when you go get your concealed weapons license and you take the class, they'll tell you for sure. No, he didn't pull anything, but I don't know if he had nothing on him. So I walked to my car. No, I didn't have to see it. Didn't have to. Didn't have to, man. He looked like he needed to be on all type of medication, okay? All type of psychedelics to keep his mind together. That's what he looked like. But he don't look like he was on nothing. You said Jersey, New York, Connecticut are ridiculous. Well, those were the states where the Black Panthers were most prevalent. Any state that is hard to get a firearm, that's why. You can go look. You can thank the Black Panthers for that. New York is one of those old states. They go on by the same rules. They're not playing. So you got to obey the law. And now here's the thing. Here's the rule. Do I just leave it at home and it's unoccupied? No. What happens if somebody break in and take it and I'm here? You got to go lock it up. So I went to a gun range and I paid for a locker. I rented out a locker. It's not that much. It's only $10 a month. But it's peace of mind, though. Peace of mind. And also I could sell it if I wanted to. I just tell them, like, I got it and I'm giving you consent to sell it if I really wanted to, because I'm not there. But you got to pay for a locker. Your ammo and everything is in the locker. That's how you got to do it. If not, you're going to be in trouble. Your ammo and everything is in the locker. Your ammo, everything got to be locked up. My brother, when he went overseas, he had to go to the locker. He locked it. He didn't have it with me because what if I had to emergency and I have to leave? I can't leave with his girlfriend. Hey, how you doing? I can't leave with his girlfriend because she worked nights, so he left it in the locker. It's the states where the Black Panthers were most prevalent that it's hard to get firearms. It's an antiquated law that should be changed. If you're a law-abiding citizen, if you want to, I'm not encouraging it, but you should go through the proper channels. It's a lot of responsibility though to have it because you just can't give it to anybody. You can't do certain things. You can't go on government property. You better not go into government property with it. That's time you're gonna get. You're not allowed to have it on government property. You're not allowed to have it at schools. So let's say if you're picking your kid up and you're in the school line, you better leave it home. You can't do that. So there's certain things you got to know in certain states. So every state is different. And when you go to the airport, it's really easy. If you go to the airport, just put in your check-in luggage, but you got to have it locked up, and your ammunition got to be locked up. And you got to let them know when you get to the airport that you have it in your luggage. And when you check in luggage, and then they'll check it, make a note in the system, and you'll be straight. But let's say if I took a flight here, I couldn't do that. They'll stop me at the airport like, no, you can't go there like that. Some people make mistakes, but and just a note, just because you have a concealed carry don't mean it'll save your life. It don't. Because most people don't know how to use it. You got to have training. I went to some training. It was fun though, but you got to keep going. Sharpen your skills. Some people don't even know how to pull the trigger right. They pull it. They don't squeeze it. They pull it. Because when you pull it now, you're off target now. You have to just fluid motion and squeeze it in between breaths. Your sights, when you line your sights, if you got a pistol, you line the sights up right. Once your sight is lined with the target and your target is like blurry, you know you got it right. If you keeping on the sights and that target is blurry, you know you got it right. In between breaths, a nice solid pull, a nice solid squeeze. In between breaths. But in a real world situation, it's kind of difficult still. Because here's the thing about it. In a real world situation, your heart rate goes up. And say if you're running, it's not always going to be effective. A target is one thing. A target is one thing. So it's not good. Oh, you said your wife's uncle was in Black Panthers? I have family members that was in it too. And they did time. They did fed time. They both had 10 years apiece. 10 years apiece they got. They were not married at the time. They got married when they got out of prison. They had to do time. They were in their 20s too. They didn't get out into their 30s. They did 10 apiece. 10 straight time. 10 apiece. And what's her name got away? She got away. They didn't help her get away, but she got away and defected to Cuba. There was a YouTuber. This is how I know, guys. YouTubers are sent. There was a YouTuber that went over to Cuba, right? It's a brother, and he travels all over the world. And you like, how does he get all this money to travel all over the world? Because his ass is doing. It's a recon mission. He doing recon. And how I knew it is because when he went to Cuba, he was talking to the people. He said to this one guy, "Hey, guy, I just want to ask you a question. Do you know where Assata is?" And then you should have saw the guy was smiling. Then his smile, he quickly wasn't smiling again. He said, "What did you say to me, Kay? What did you say to me?" He said, "Do you know where I could find Assata?" Did you know that guy walked away from him? Never talked to him again. He said, "Damn, what happened? What did I say anything wrong?" I want to say, "Yeah, he think your ass an agent. Yeah, you said something wrong. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. She being protected by the government. Yes, you just said something wrong. You sure did." Talking about, do you know where Assata is? That's what he said. And he said it on video too. And the guy walked away from him. And he inquired about other people, and they all got quiet. Because they can get in trouble for that. If they told him where she was and it's on camera, the government will come after them. They'll get in trouble. They'll be doing 10, 15 years. Easy. We learned it when we was in school, Antoine. They don't teach that anymore. We learned it. We know when we're in a crowd, we know what certain things to look out for if we're in a crowd. They used to teach that in school. They don't teach it. We learned that in high school. They don't teach that no more. And they didn't have that wasn't a part of our curriculum. Mr. Melvin taught us. That wasn't a part of our curriculum. He just took it upon himself to teach us how to read maps, stuff like that. Because I know how to get like to California just by off memory. But that stuff they don't teach anymore. Conflict resolution, that stuff they don't teach anymore. They don't teach that anymore. Not at all. Yeah, Mr. Gill too. He taught us that too. But that wasn't a part of the curriculum though. They just taught us, survival skills and stuff like that, and how to peep out a crowd and stuff and get the hell out of the way. That stuff they don't teach anymore. They used to, but not anymore. Actually, it wasn't really a part of the curriculum. I mean, some schools they did. They don't teach it no more. They don't teach social studies no more either. Not anymore, bro. Not anymore. Yeah, we can read a map. Just give me a regular map. The regular map of the roads has not changed since it's been created. You can get to one point to the other with no problems at all. But nowadays, we all rely on our cell phones, so still be a problem because everything is electronic now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me something, sit me yesterday, our father. And tell me something.
I remember he was teaching us this stuff, right? He said, "Y'all gonna need this one day," and I'm sitting up there in the back talking. He kicked me right out of class. He sure did. He said, "Stand outside, and I'm gonna talk to you in a second." I said, "Oh shit," because back then they could lay their hands on you. I said, oh, fuck, man. He said, you know, and then he said, hold on, y'all, I'll be right back. He grabbed me, because we wore ties. He grabbed my shirt and put me up against the wall. He said, you do that one more time, me and you out back. One more time. He said, and that's not like you. You understand me? Yes, sir. And went right back. He said, straighten your tie up so nobody don't think I laid my hands on you. I had to straighten my tie up, yo, before I went back in. That's back then when the teachers could lay their hands on you. I never act up again in his class. Graduate with a 6th grade IQ. Some kids, some don't. It just depends on the level of education you receive. In Westside High School, where our boy at, Antoine, you know our boy Ak is the principal there, Akbar Cook. 25% of them already have an associate's degree. 25%. That's the first time in history of Westside High School that happened. And a certain percentage received over $250,000 in scholarships. It's the first time it's happened in that system. And he's the principal. We went to high school with him. He turned that school around. That used to be a problematic school when we were coming up. Yeah, Westside and North. The principal of Westside, we went to high school with him, me and Antoine did. He turned that school around. Out of all the seniors, only one didn't graduate. That's the first time that's happened in the history of that school. Only one didn't graduate. It might have been health reasons. Out of the history of that school, every last one of them graduated except for one. We graduated in 94. 94. We graduated at Sacred Heart Cathedral in Newark, New Jersey. We all wore tuxedos. Antoine was there. Yep, Antoine was there. Oh, you saw him at the graduation a few years ago? It's a blessing to be old school swimmingly. It's a blessing to get our age. It's a blessing. A lot of people didn't make it. It's a blessing, man. Some people died by way of the gun. A lot of me and Antoine friends died by way of the gun. Me and Antoine went to so many funerals we can't count. It's not normal. We went to a lot of funerals of people we went to school with. We sure did. They still should be here. They chose the streets, though. We went to too many funerals. I went to so many funerals, I stopped going. I stopped going. This is not, it wasn't good for my psyche. I stopped going. I'll send a card. That's what I'll do. That's about it. Yeah, the old school sound. I do have that old school sound. I sure do. Yeah, a lot of his students received their associates before they got their diploma. They got them at the same time. So that means they're going to college as a junior, which means they'll graduate college early and work on their masters or whatever they're going to do. Yeah, it's too much, man. I've been to too many. It's not normal. I've been to too many. I've been to too many. Pick up the tail end of that rock epidemic. Yeah, that's how they died. They got into that lifestyle. We went to one funeral. Remember Antoine? We went to what's his name funeral? Abraham. He had a closed casket. We couldn't see the body. I stopped going after that. No, I went to another friend. That was sad. And that was it. When Big E died, I wasn't going to funerals after that. I couldn't take it. Because we were all very close. We all known each other since grammar school, some of us. Some of these guys I known since kindergarten. Mentally, I couldn't take it. It's like losing a brother. Couldn't take it. Abraham, Antoine. Remember his mom passed away? He died a few months after his mother passed away. Abraham Collins. You probably didn't know. Maybe you didn't go. Maybe you didn't know that. College could be shorter depending on what you do in high school. What's up, Rachel, in the house? Yeah, Big E. I stopped going after his funeral. I stopped going. I couldn't take it no more. I known him since first grade. I couldn't take that no more. And he should still be here. That shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have happened. That right there shouldn't have happened. Really good guy too, man. I didn't go to his funeral in New Jersey. I went to the one in South Carolina because people were asking about where I was in VA at the time. I was in VA at the time, and I heard he passed. I went to the funeral when they buried him in South Carolina. That's where I went to that one. No, it ain't hot out here right now. It's a breeze. It's a cool breeze out here. The closing statements going on right now, Rachel. And they sitting there painting that picture on them right now as I talk. They are painting that picture. They saying you only have to prove 2 predicate acts to be guilty on count 1. That's it. 2 predicate acts. It's going down right now, Rachel. I'll be there tomorrow. I got to take my mother to the doctor. That's what I'm waiting on. Got to go to the doctor. And doctor appointment. And got to do some other things. I told you I'm like her butler. Butler slash limousine driver. I'm the butler. I'm the butler. Yeah, man, Brian, he was in the service at the time. He was in the army when that happened. He was overseas when that happened. So you must have FedExed it to him. He was in Iraq or something. I think he was in Iraq at the time. That was after Desert Storm. So that means he was over in that. No, that was after Desert Storm. So he was in Iraq at the time. Jamie was too. He was in Iraq too. So we worried about them and shit, and we going through this. It was crazy. We all very close. That's kind of crazy. All of us are. We known each other since we were kids, man. And every time we meet up with each other, it's like we just pick up where we left off. Were you still in the service at the time, Antoine? I think, no, you were out. You got out the service. I can't read the transcript right now because I'm getting ready to leave. I'm going to read it when I get back. You said Jamie was in both Iraq and Afghanistan. I think at that time when he died, he was in Iraq. And just think about it. I was supposed to go in the army with y'all. Wasn't that crazy? Because I remember when you went in, I was supposed to go in with you. I was I was contemplating it. Yeah, I probably would have finished with you. most certainly. I remember we was all at Essex talking about it, Essex County. And I remember when y'all went in. Jamie went to Essex County too. He was going in. I was going to go in with him. I know I missed a lot. I know I did. I probably have been in all type of conflicts, man. Craziness. My girlfriend at the time talked me out of it. That's what happened. She said she had a dream that I got caught in a war, and she told me not to go. She said she had a dream about it. She wrote it down and everything. I was like, really? She said, yeah. I said, oh, shit. And I was in the process already. I had signed up. I was in the process. Craziness. Took the test and everything. Yeah, they going through closing statements right now, Rachel. It's going down right now. And they're going to take the whole day. Their closing statement's going to last all day. All day. On talking about how guilty he is. All day. Guilty, 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 guilty. That's what they're saying. And then the defense is tomorrow. Yeah, the defense will be tomorrow. So before you finish your last year, you went at Iona. Yeah, you told you. I remember you said you told your parents. They're like, you going where? I'm going to the Army. Sorry. I'm going to the Army. I remember when you left too. Remember that. Antoine learned all type of tricks. He ain't been the same since he went in there. I promise y'all that. He ain't the same dude. He looked dangerous. He does. He learned all type. He took that very seriously. He came out. He was not the same. Not the same. He wasn't the same when he came out. Holy shit. He said they refused to talk to you in English. I remember you said that. Don't tell them I'm laughing, yo. Don't tell your parents that. Because they still probably, man, they're like, man, at least they got you back. They were not happy. Yeah, your parents, man, especially your pops. Your pop, everybody was scared of his pop show. Yes, sir, no, sir. Mr. DeStorms. Yes, sir, no, sir. He was like a political guy, too. That's why we looked up to him. He was into politics. Everybody had respect for him. Still do. His parents didn't play, dog. For real. They were really nice people. Really nice. They really nice. I went through the tests and everything, and passed everything with flying colors. I was going to get into communications. They said, yeah, you can get into communications with your scores. Yeah. Sign right here. I would have went off to Fort Dix. I believe that's where I was going. He don't got no regrets, man. One day I'm gonna get him on a panel. He'll start telling his stories. It's crazy. His stories is crazy, man. I have I call him my little cousin, but he's like 10 years. No, he's about 5 years younger than me. He went in right after Ant. Well, no, he went in years after Ant did. He stayed in there a long time. He been in like so many wars he can't count. But he got some hell of a stories though. He almost got kicked out of boot camp for laughing. You know, you don't want to disrespect. He said he was laughing. He was in his face yelling. He started laughing. He was like, "We gonna take that smile off your face." He said they did all kind of stuff to him, but he said he still had fun though. You said, Max, that would be great. You said, I'm thinking about my son. Oh yeah, Air Force is cool. He got the benefits and stuff. He'll be all right. He'll get squared away. Keep his nose clean. He'll get squared away quickly. A friend of mine, his nephew just got out the Air Force. Um, he did his time and got out. He got married and stuff. He thought it was cool. You want to go to the Air Force at one point? Oh, the essay against women. Yeah, a friend of mine, daughter went in. She turned out all right though. She went. She was in the army. But a lot of my friends went in though. A lot of family members too. They all went in. They all out now. One of them just got out. He retired. He just got out. He was in there since, man, he been in a long ass time. Over 20 years. Now that I think about it, I probably should have went in. Now that I think about it. Knowing me, I probably would have collected my check and went overseas, yo, and lived overseas and been done with it. Shit, I would have used it for the benefits in education and stuff like that. That's why I was doing it. Then they were kind of souping my mind up, talking about I could have went into the JAG and all that, and I could have did the law stuff in there, and they was really talking. They were talking a good. They was selling it to me too. Oh hell nah, hell nah. That's what Brian was doing. Our friend Brian, jumping out of planes and all that shit. See, I couldn't have done none of that. As afraid as I am of heights, he said, no, they'll get you over that. You start off small. That's what he said. We build you up. You start off small. You ain't gonna just jump off planes. We'll build you up to jumping off planes. Bullshit. Bullshit. He said, we'll build you up to jump off a plane. He said, that ain't nothing. Yeah, he was what you call a snake eater. He did all kind of crazy stuff. He lived over in where is he at? Philippines. Last time I checked, he's in the Philippines. He was chilling over there for a minute. Then hey, how you doing? You getting yourself? My cousin, he was in Thailand for about 5 years, and then he went to Japan. He got booed up in Japan, and he in California now for a minute. I think he leaving again. Yeah, Yeah, I ain't jumping off no planes, bro. Just give me something easy. Give me like a communications job or something. Let me do that. Let me just do that. Or be a medic or something. Like, I can't be jumping out no planes. I'd have failed. I would have failed, man. I have a fear of heights. And when I be on planes, I still ain't not used to it. You said I hear a slight accent. Are you from the South? No, I'm not from the South. My family is. That's why you hear that. I'm from New Jersey. I've always had an accent. Antoine will tell you. They're like, man, you from the South? Where are you from, bro? They used to tell me that. I'm from here. New Jersey. Certain things I say, I have a Jersey accent. It just depends. You can't really hear it. Yeah, he's a military police. Like, let me do something like that. Have me jumping out of planes, you could forget it. Like Brian, I see the videos and stuff. His crazy ass jumping off planes. I got a friend of mine. She's like, "Hey, do you want to go? Let's do skydiving." Bullshit. I said that to her too. Bullshit. And she just looked at, why? You don't want to go skydiving? No. I'll go watch you. And I sure did. I watched her and I videotaped it. I said, I'll be right here like that. Yeah, he is special forces, but see, I ain't doing all that. Nope, I'm not jumping off no planes, man. I'll be the one to freeze. You says, look at Antoine. He another one. Skydiving is awesome. Bullshit, Antoine. Number. Number. Yeah, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not jumping off no planes, man. I said that during my interview one time. It was like, yeah, you know, we can have you jumping out of planes. Bullshit. I said, no, I'm not. And everybody started laughing. He said, well, he said to me, he said, well, we're going to straighten you out. You do what we tell you to do. That's what he told me. I said, my test don't call for that. I said, I want to get into communications. He said, but we could switch up on you. You'll be jumping out of planes. We say you do. I'm like, bull. I'd say, well, y'all kick me out then. And see, I would be in a rock and a hard place. I'm not getting no dishonorable discharge, so I would have to jump out the plane, I guess. You said you from New Jersey but live in Florida now. New Jersey peeps say I sound country, and it's Florida Pete. See, I blend in. I don't sound like I'm from up here. I don't. Parasailing is fun. See, y'all, now I'm finding out about a lot of y'all now. Y'all crazy. I ain't parasailing. I'm not getting in no ocean. I don't do boats. Nothing like that. I don't do boats either. Because on our prom, remember Antoine, we went on a boat. And I was okay with that. But I don't do no boats. Yeah, everything would go according to, so I would have to listen. They would have me jumping out of a plane. There was nothing I could do. Nothing I can do. I guess you get used to it, but that's not something I want to do. That's not something I would want to do. I can barely get on a plane as it is. I have to. Sometimes I gotta fly. It costs me to fly. When I went to LA, I had to fly. When I'm gonna drive there, I had to. So, other than that, I was scared as I ain't gonna lie to you. When I went overseas, I was scared. Scared. But you got used to, I get you get used to it. You love the water. Yeah, I remember they came to my house and everything, Antoine. You know, back then they used to take a visit to your house. They don't do that no more. They recruit you. You just go to the place and sign up. He said, yeah, we're going to make sure he listen. Don't worry about that, man. We got him. He said, Mister don't want to jump out of planes. He said, we'll have him jumping out of planes for sure. If that's what it called for. He going to do what we tell him, and that's it. I was never disrespectful, but jumping out of planes is not my thing. It's not my thing, man. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and sign off. When I get back, I'm going to read some of the transcript and see what's going on. I already know what they're doing already. That man, they like, he guilty. Guilty, 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 guilty. Do anybody know who delivering the closing? Is it Comey? It probably is. I'm about to go walk up these steps. I'm not taking that elevator. Let me see. Let me see if it's working. Damn, this is the elevator that was. Oh boy. I'm on the raggedy elevator. I'm on the raggedy one. I got out. Guys, let me get out of here. Let me go handle my business. I'll talk to you all in about an hour.